I'm going to try and explain today how to play Peaky Blinders, the board game. So I'm going to start with the setup. Shuffle the mission cards and give two to each player. And then the control mission cards, there's four of them, give one to each player. I happen to have got, let's have a look, Thomas Shelby, control Smallheath. So I've got control Smallheath. I have to increase my strength to 5. And let's have a look. Collect 10 car parts. And they're my objectives to win the game. If I do all 3 of these, I've won. So here is the full setup. You've got 3 horseshoes on the fortune, horse on horse, gun on strength, whiskey glass on charisma, and pocket watch on intellect. Also, I happen to pull these 3, so that's my mission, my objective. I got 5 1 coins, 2 5 coins, and 4 control area markers. Oh, a quick word about money. This is the money you get in a game, and it's a pony, basically. I actually use these coins I got from another game because, seriously, I think they're crap. Last bit of the setup is to stick your little coloured bar on the suspicion thing. And if you end up at the end there, you end up in prison. The only other thing I do is I stick a little members thing on the garrison pub. All the other spaces, the picture represents what you get from them, but for some reason the garrison doesn't. It's got a bunch of geezers on horses, and it doesn't really explain that you get members from there. So that reminds you. All right, we're ready to go. All 4 players have a setup like this. They have an objective, and they have their little board where they get like stuff. So to start play, we start the beginning of the game at Smallheath. We go through 3 phases of stuff there. When we're done there, we go to Birmingham, and then when we're done there, we go to Camden, and then when we're done there, we go to London, and then we go to the races over here. So first things first, first player, I'm going to be first player just because, and I'm going to use, the thing you got to decide is, do I want to use my strength, my intelligence, or my charisma? I'm going to use strength. And I'm going to go to the Shelby company, and I'll tell you for why. See these little dots? This means you can only use this one in a 2-player. So this one, you can only use this one in a 3-player. So in a 4-player game, you can only have 3 people here. Not everybody can go there. That's what the dots mean. So I'm going to go there. Second player is going to go in Charlie's Yard. Third player is going to go to the Garrison Pub. And this guy is going to go to the conflict. So, right. That's actually the end of the first round. You just decide where you want to go. They could have gone anywhere. You know, 2 people could have gone to the Garrison Pub. But I'm just doing one of each so I can show you how each section works. Right, so, like I said, Charisma Geezer starts first. So, basically, he throws a dice. He's got a 4, which is kind of rubbish. But anyway, so he's using Charisma. So, 1 to 5, 0 rewards. If he had any points here already, they would add on to the score and would help. But he gets bugger all. So that's Blue guy's next. He is using strength at the garrison. So his rewards will be members in his gang. And he's using strength. So he throws the dice, gets a 2. So let's have a look over here. He's using strength, 1 to 5, 2 rewards, 1 suspicion. So he gets 2 of the, he gets 2 of these, which are member they'll just tell you that you got members in your gang. And they're useful because at the races you get more money because you get money for each member or whatever. So they're kind of useful to collect, I guess. And I think in fights, they help because you add them to the number to have a bundle. But because I'm in the Shelby Company area, I am actually going to get leadership points. And you can tell that because the leadership has the same picture. So like, I basically, and the leadership's the easiest one because any of the others, oh, actually no. I'm going for leadership points, but I'm using strength. So I got throw dice. If I had any points here already, they would add on my dice score, but I haven't because we just started. And then I throw the dice, and this gives me how many leadership points I get. Plus the suspicion points, which can put you in prison because you're using your strength. That's kind of the idea. So anyway, I throw the dice. I get an 8, which is sweet because 8 gives me 3 rewards and 2 suspicions. So I get over here, I start creeping up towards prison. But the sweet thing with that is I get to put 3 leadership points up here. All right, and so the last guy, the black geezer, is using intellect for a bundle, for a conflict. Now, because no one owns this area yet, you've got to get your things in here. There's no one to have a fight with, so he just gets a conflict card for being there. But I will just, while we're here, explain this, and it works for all the areas. If there was someone here, say I'd already had 2 control points down, so I controlled this area, and then he moved here, we could choose to have a fight. And if he wins, I think he can like replace one of mine with one of his. So how do you fight? All right. So this goes straight out in the manual just to kind of explain it to you. You fight by rolling a dice, and then you add how many points that particular player has on his little, on his sheet here. He's got none, so that don't count. Plus, you also add up how many members in your gang, and that gives you your score. And then the person trying to protect their area does the same thing, and there you go. Now, the cool thing with that is if the attacking guy, say he's already got some power points here, if the guy who owns the area beats him, he loses his power points and he's done. So there is like consequence for getting in a bundle. Now, the good thing is if he gets over 15 with all that stuff added up, then he gets to knock off one of this guy's control markers, and he owns a little bit of that town. So the idea is that's a fight for controlling areas. And remember, like every player has a card, and every one of the 4 people have to control a certain area. So you gotta, it might be wise, like gameplay wise, to leave that geezer there, fill up all the others, and then just next round drop it on a conflict and beat him to get, own the area, because then you're like the boss of that area. So that's how the conflict and the fighting works. All right, because I've explained phase 1 and phase 2 in Small Heath, and just to recap, you can get horsepower at Charlie's Yard, you can get extra members at the pub, which are useful because they help in a fight, and you get more cash at the derby. You can go here to the Shelby Company. I guess that's the betting office. Yeah, I guess. So that gives you leadership power, which is useful. And then this is the conflict spot. Now you have similar stuff. I'm going to go through each area just to recap. Like, so Birmingham City has a symbol of the gun, which is actually the strength. So you win, you do the same stuff in the same area when you throw the dice, but you win strength points. The boxing ring, the BSA factory, you get guns. So like little cards with guns on them. So like, one of your things might be you got to collect 10 guns or whatever, the cards. So So you get cards there for that. At the prison, your rewards points are actually to knock this back so you get away from the jail. So like that can be useful if you're getting a bit, you know, the cops are a bit super suspicious and you're up here. It's worth hanging out at the prison to knock those points back down again. So that's Birmingham. Camden, you got the library, kind of obvious. That gives you, because of the glass, that gives you charisma points. This is Solomon's Bakery, where you get your booze. So if you've got a card saying collect 10 rum barrels, then you need to be there. The bank gives you moolah, gives you money. So that's useful because you need cash for certain stuff later on. And the conflict, so that's Camden. And then Central London, Houses of Parliament, gives you, because of the watch, that gives you intellect points. Popular Docks gives you car parts. When we get there, I'm gonna need to exploit that because part of my thing to win is I need to collect 10 car parts. What are double raises for? Oh, this is for conflict cards, which you end up using in phase 3. You get one if you go here and there's no one, you know, no one rules it, but you can go here and get conflict cards too as rewards. You use them in phase 3, so I'm going to explain phase 3. So that's the area, and then, you know, once you've done Central London, I'll explain how to run a derby. You go for a horse race, and then you start it all over again until someone owns the, like, until, for example, me, I need to own that area. I don't know where the other, oh, it is. I need to own Small Heath, like that. I need to collect 10 car parts, which come from Popular Docks. And I need to increase my strength by 5. So that's at the boxing ring. And once you've done the 3 things in the card, you've won the game. So I'm going to be trying to be really quick with phase 3. Phase 3, these are the conflict cards. So you can play these on people. For example, this one says, choose an opponent, remove 2 car parts. So you can draw car parts off of another geezer. Like if matey over there's got 2 car parts, you can use this to go steal them off him. So you actually start this round, phase 3, the person with the most leadership points. I'd start it because I got 3. So I would start. I could throw that at someone if I had it. And there's defense cards. So there's all sorts of, you know, you just got to read what they say. Like, so depending on how many you got. Now remember, you get these conflict cards from being here when there's no one here, or you can pick them up, where's it at the Eden Club. So they're useful in phase 3 to steal stuff you need off of people or whatever. It depends what card you get, you know. So that's the cards. But you can do a bunch of things in your round, on your go. You can play a conflict card. You can buy or move a turf marker. So you can buy your way into owning. I need Small Heath. I could buy my way into Small Heath, but I can't remember how much it cost. Hang on. Oh, I had to look it up. It's £8 to buy an area. And even if you wanted to take, say you've got it here and you wanted to move it here, it's still going to cost you £8 to do that. So it's a bit spendy. You do need to up your cash a bit because you only start with 5, 6, 7, 8, £9. So like you could do one with the money you got, but you got to get money, or you're not going to control your area. You need to control. So it's £8 to buy a little bit. You know, buy your way in, owning the area. So you can do that. You can do all these things in your go. So you can throw conflict cards at people. You can buy in to an area. And the other thing is you can trade cards. Say I had a cart of cards I didn't want. Like, you know, I'm collecting car parts, but I'm not collecting rum barrels. So for example, if I've been down to Camden and ended up with some rum barrels, I can put them in the Covent Garden. And then I get a quid out of the bank for that. Everything you sell, you get a quid for it. So actually, it shouldn't be a 5-1. You can't sell 5-1s to the market. You can only sell 1-1s. So anyway, I'm not going to go get another card. But anyway, so you can sell shit you don't need, like at the Covent Garden. And then other people can buy them, but they can only take the top ones. That's why there's just 2 spaces. So like you can only pick off of this one or this one. You can't shuffle, dig through the deck for something you need. So I think that's, yeah. And if there's something you want, say for example, there was a car part sitting there, I could pay a quid to get that car part because I'm trying to collect car parts. So it's a little trade-off to trade stuff. So recapping phase 3, you can buy your way into owning an area, which is less fighting. You can throw conflict cards at people to steal their stuff. And you can do a little bit of trade in here with cards you don't need or grabbing cards you want. And then when you're done, clockwise around the table, everybody gets a go at doing that. And that's the end of that phase 3. Oh, I forgot, there's one more thing on your turn in phase 3 you can do. If your suspicions end up all the way up here and your strength is in jail, you can bail him out for 10 quid and get it back. And then the bar goes all the way back to the beginning. So you can bail your guy out of jail for 10 quid, which is kind of spendy, but like, you might need, you know, the strength one's a pretty strong thing, especially as I have to increase my strength to 5. So yeah, that's it for phase 3. There was that one other thing you can do. And then each person has a go at doing that around the table. And then when you're done with that, we go to races. That's the last bit I'm going to explain. And then when you're done with the races, you start back at small heath and you keep going till someone's... Right, after that fighting and extorting and nicking and stuff in all them cities, you get to go to the Epsom Derby and have a horse race. Now, the cool thing is, your horse, we put all the horses at the beginning, but if you look at the horse points you happen to have, like for example, see, as you can see, I've got 3 horse points. That means I can take mine and move him up 3. It gives you like an advantage on the horse race. So let's pretend no one's got any horse points except me. So I get to start there. Everyone has to pay a quid bet. So you're betting a quid each. Now the cool thing is the person who wins gets this money, but depending on how many members they have procured from the pub, they also get a quid out of the bank for them too. So if you owe 2, you'd end up with all that cash. So you get a bit of cash out of this and it's a little bit of fun. So here's how you actually race. All right, so the race is basically a dice throw. You got this dice with little horses on it. All right, so I just threw that. I get to move 1. Leadership, the one who's got the most leadership power, which happens to me because I got 3, goes first, and then it's clockwise around the table. 1, 2. And anyway, you just do this until the end, and then the winner takes all the bets plus a quid for every member in their gang. So if you've got a bunch of them, if you've got a bunch of these from the pub, you can get some, so you get some cash here. And that's how the racing works. And then, you know what, something I've forgotten earlier on. Now remember, you get 3 of these fortune tokens. Use them wisely. Like if I was there and I won away, it's probably worth using it to get over the finish line. Because that you can just use that to add to your point. You can only use 1 and you can add to the dice roll. You can actually use this on the other one while you're playing around the cities too. You can add these, but you only have 3 for the whole game. So you really want to keep them for when you need them. Like if you're having a conflict and you need that space to win, you might want to pull that out, you know, so use them sparingly. And I think that's it. You go back to being you're done and keep on playing. And that's how you play the Peaky Blinders game until someone gets all of their 3 missions accomplished. I actually made these little cheat sheets that just kind of give this in a little thing, so when you're playing, I give one to each player because it's a bit complicated, to be honest. But once you get the hang of it, it's a lot more fun than Monopoly. And I hope this has helped anyone who's trying to play the game.